And welcome back to FireCast Season 1, Episode 3 with my co-host DZ.
What's cracking?
And I dare say this will be the biggest podcast in the country. And our next guest is also longtime friend and tjmrecords member, Bradley Attard.
What's up? How's it going?
And so just like we had Mr. Meagley on before, who's actually your brother. For people who didn't know, you kind of look like twins. And I was friends with you first.
Yes.
And we've been friends for a very, very long time. I think we had the discussion, it's been like, what, more than 10 years?
It's been about 13 years now.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Fuck.
And so, I've got the same question for you too. At one point, you were also making music.
Yes.
Like there was a point where, like Michael had said in the last episode, where we used to go to your house just to drink and make music, and we'd have two computers going, and everyone was making beats or trying to make tracks.
Yep.
So what do you think what steered you away from that? Was it a patient thing? Was it just, did you realize you didn't enjoy it as much?
Well, the idea of making music sounds a lot better than when actually creating it. You don't realize how much effort you got to put into it and how hard it actually is. So after like screwing around with it a bit and playing, like I was like, oh yeah, this isn't too bad. But then I realized it wasn't my calling.
It is very, very technical.
Like having the vision for what you want and putting it into practice is a lot harder than people seem to think, and it's not an easy barrier to get over. You got to put the time in, and you got to really have the dedication to want to get through it. And some people just like, you just can't.
Well, what really stopped me there as well was, I remember there was this one time me, you, and Mobsy, we made an actual decent song on my computer. Do you remember that?
Yes, it was called Rusty Mechanics or something.
Yeah, that was it. It was called
Rusty
the actual single. That was the EP we were going to make. The single was called Nuts and Bolts.
That's right.
And we made this awesome track. It sounded hectic. We all had a part in it. And then what happened? My hard drive dies. Lost it all.
That all fucking ruined.
And then, just no motivation after that. Because there was actually one song that I remember I made it by myself. And Iggy and Mobs, I didn't even show anyone. They went on my computer and listened to it like, what is this? I was like, oh yeah, just something I was coming up with. And then they added to it. And then it was awesome.
What were you doing? Like, what were you actually doing? Like dubstep type of shit as well?
It was all EDM,
literally dubstep.
Okay, that's right. See, I totally forgot about losing it all.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
That's happened to you a couple times, hasn't it?
Yeah. So I have actually also lost.
We lost a lot of
drive.
songs once. We had some when we first kind of started actually making some pretty decent stuff. We lost it all. Remember that?
Yeah, we lost a lot of stuff, and I guess that also comes to some people have more of a like not give up attitude to others, but with music it can be very hard because one of my favorite producers, Conductor, same thing happened to him. He lost a hard drive and he actually quit making music. And I know Brad will remember that because this is something we used to talk about all the time. And Conductor was one of our main artists when we were kids. And he quit. He actually quit making music for years. And
literally like 5 years.
Yeah. And that wasn't good because that really like affected his reach and his social media analytics and stuff like that. And now he's getting back into it 6 years later and he's really struggling. He's not even cracking like 10 views and stuff on his YouTube videos and his songs because this is all it's a dead channel he's now trying to revive.
Well, it's what I said yesterday about the Rust thing. If if you're not established, you can't take 6 years off because people aren't going to wait around for you. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, exactly right. So yeah, because out of all of us, obviously myself and Mo B were the only ones to this day that continued with the music and things like that. Brad, do you ever see yourself maybe in the future trying it again, or do you know that's just something that you don't want to do?
I'd love to, but I just don't have the motivation and the passion. Like compared to you, even back then, you could tell that yous were the two that were excelling in it, and the rest of us were just sort of like, doing some stuff that was cool, but yous two were really, really putting in the hard yards. Just I didn't have that motivation. It's probably something I don't think I'd get back into. It's too much to me.
Yeah. So what about then the performance side on it?
Like the hype man on stage.
Hype man, DJing, because that's a different ball game altogether. Like you could easily just DJ and not make music. I mean, people do it all the time. I mean, at one point in Sydney, there was guys that blew up in the Sydney scene just from DJing, not even their own music.
Yeah. Well, see, I could definitely do that again, but the reason I stopped DJing as well is because it was show after show of me just screwing shit up. I remember there was one time, it was when you were talking about the best show we did in that sort of cathedral thing, and I remember I was trying to go into a song, and I'm going into it, and nothing's playing. I'm going, fuck, I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, all right, let's try again. Nothing again. And then Iggy comes over, he's like, bro, you're using the wrong dial. I was like, oh, shit.
That's right. So I remember we're up there. And,
I remember stopping early doing that, and all I did was literally 4 of yous were DJing, and I literally just jumped in front and was dancing, and that's where I felt most comfortable.
Yeah, now you in
because I couldn't screw anything up. But
see, I remember that now. So during this crazy set we played, I remember Brad was up next, and we're doing like a 2-song thing, and Brad was up next, and he I'm watching, and he's trying to fade up between the crossfaders. But basically, if you don't know, that's just how you control the volume of each track. So obviously, the next track you're going to play, you've got it on 0 volume until you're ready to play it. And I could see, and because it's a club deck, there's 4 CDJs. Brad's turning up the volume of the one that's not on. And it's going up, oh, back down, going up.
I think it was 1 and 4 that was working, and I was doing like 1 and 2.
And I'm just going, wait, wrong one. And I've had to turn it up for him. Yeah,
that was still a success though. Somehow, like they didn't notice it, and it still went well.
That was one of our best sets.
Yeah.
That was what noisier.
I think that was my last set. I'm pretty sure.
I think it may have been our last set as a group. I think that one was. Yeah.
Well, I'm with you there anyway, because I hate technology. Like I'd rather just jump around and scream on stage and be the hype man. Because man, doing all the technical side of stuff is there's draining.
There's no worries just jumping around. You can do whatever you want.
Like man, technology is. Oh, I hate computers. I hate all that. I just do what I have to do, the bare minimum, and I let him take the rest. Because it's a pain in the ass learning that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we covered this in the last episode too, that sometimes like patience is such a big thing when it comes to making music. And not a lot of people have the patience, you know, like it even myself sometimes I get home and I sometimes just cannot be bothered to do it, to make music, because it's just like, fuck, like there's so much effort to do. Like now,
it's draining.
Even just starting a song is the worst, because the starting fundamentals is literally all the boring shit. Getting everything sounding right, getting your drums ready, and then you do the fun stuff of making melodies and making, you know, dubstep basses and shit like that. So half the time I don't want to make music because I can't be bothered to start again. Every song is a new starting point. You got to start again every single fucking time. You know what I mean? Yeah, so back on the whole group thing with music, I've got this one story that I remember where we were going to, I'm not too sure if we were hosting a night, Brad, for some local Sydney promoter. I can't remember his name.
Wasn't his name Dan as well?
I think his name may have been Dan as well.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Dan.
So there was 2
the guy that bought a
Dans.
snapback and stuff.
Yeah.
Eh?
They all named Dan.
And we've rocked up again with our usual busload of people, and right as we're about to play, what happens?
we got shut down.
Before we
got on, you shut the place down for, what was it for? Because didn't that happen to us twice? Both times we went to play at the same club, right before we were about to jump on the night we were hosting, we either got 1 or 2 songs out, and then they're like, nah, that's it, shut down, everyone get out.
See,
I don't even remember what happened.
I don't remember the second time, but I know the first time was because we had got off the bus, and obviously because we're DJing, we've gone straight inside the club, dropped our bags off, getting our USBs ready, like doing a sound check. And by this point too, we know how to turn the decks on. So we kind of have, like, we were a bit more prepared this time. But I just remember, didn't the bus load of people end up getting into a massive punch on with the Sekis?
Oh,
and then,
wait, I know. Yeah. I'm pretty sure somebody who I won't name knocked a Seki out. That was at the club. And then I think maybe hit a girl or something. I'm pretty sure there was something like that involved.
the shit got crazy.
Yeah.
shit got fucking.
And of course, right before our set too, like everybody else gets a full set to play, and I'm pretty sure we got dead set 2 minutes out of our half an hour set, and we kicked off.
And that just comes from just the wild antics from fucking St. Clair and Erskine Park, man. Everyone was just fucking acting crazy and shit all the time.
But no, that actually happened twice. Hey, remember we did 2 things there, because one was when we hosted it, and Chenzo was the like the headliner sort of thing for us, and then we did another one with him. We gave him another chance, and then something else happened again.
Fuck, see,
we didn't get to play twice, and that's why we went, screw this guy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, wow. Yeah, I don't know, man. People. I feel like people from West Sydney are fucking crazy, man.
Oh man,
like,
Western Sydney is a fucking circus.
Like this
is
a
circus.
It's
bro.
a rough area.
Hey,
and I'm not talking like rough, like to any American people watching, because I know there's a few of you. We're not toting guns and shit like that, but man, shit does get fucking crazy.
people think they are.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
But like, how many times, especially me and Brad, when we were little, we'll go on to parties, house parties, people we didn't even know. We're just rocking up, you know. and
House parties with 16-year-olds are the worst of it.
Yeah. So we'd be 16, 15, rocking up, you know, got a bag of piss. I've told my mum I'm going to Brad's house to like have a sleepover and drink milkshakes and shit. But like, we got a bag of piss with us. We rocked up to this party, to all these parties, man, and fucking 8 times out of 10, it ends in punch ups,
gate crashes,
and the police.
And these are kids that are not even 17 yet, causing riots upon riots. Every party, I remember every Friday, Saturday, a party was ended on the news.
Yeah.
Because some Western Sydney cunts
getting
come
stabbed.
in and just,
Someone getting
pulled
stabbed.
out a weapon, throwing shit at cops, tipping cars.
See, I've got the man, oh man. There used to be these crazy parties, man, out like sort of more towards the country, like Marsden Park, like the Windsor area, man. And god damn it, I remember these parties. We used to mission it when we were little, and I'm talking like we'd have a group of people.
Remember we were hitching a ride in the back of a ute?
We once hitched a ride in the back of a guy's ute to get to this party.
We gave him $50.
We gave him $50. And
some random
guys, and we went in the back, like we were in the tray.
The
tray, not the back seat. We were in the tray, and we get to this party, and like, mind you, it would never be me or Brad or our group the ones doing the fighting. We're like, I reckon it's fucking not cool at all. We'd always just go for the good time, the dancing, the whatever, the drinking, and and then this one particular party we went to in Marsden Park, it ended with the cops coming, and I remember just for some weird bizarre reason these 16 and 17-year-olds just start throwing their drinks at the police, like, and where people are throwing rocks and bottles and people are fighting, like it was literally like a circus. And and we're kids.
Kids are fucked, man.
Because I remember that really well, actually, because I remember there was a bit of a fight between 2 groups, and I remember at one stage in the fight, one of them just goes, "Stop! Why are we fighting each other when we can fight them?" And he's talking about the cops, and then everyone goes, "Yeah!" We're all going, "Yeah!" They all run at the cops and they're throwing rocks, and then we all go, "Wait a second, what the hell is going on?" So we just go, "All right, let's go, let's get out of here."
Get back on the train back to St. Clair, man. Sunny St. Clair.
Oh man.
And
I feel like, I mean, I don't know if it's because of like COVID. No, actually, I take that back. Stuff hasn't calmed down, because I see on the news St. Clair shops, people getting bashed, and people's dads coming down and bashing their kids for bullying their kid. Man, the people need to, fucking pull their head in, I think. Like, man, you don't... There's more to the world than fighting people.
Yeah, of course. Look, I don't like it.
I've never been in a fight in my life. I've literally never had a fight. I've never thrown hands once.
Yeah,
Ever.
no, we can't say the same. But like that's also because a lot of the time was just like little school scuffles and stuff. And there's a lot of things I regret from school too, man. It's just not being a better person, bro. Like just being happier, more relaxed, and just sort of going to school and just chilling and just going home. You know what I mean?
Look,
like,
man, come on, we had the best time at school. You can't take any of that.
I have some of the best memories for school, man. Like,
oh yeah, like the memories are awesome.
I wish I didn't take it for granted. Like everyone tells you that too, but you never listen. You hear your parents and people say, cherish your school, and you're like, yeah, whatever. Fuck school. But man, in hindsight, school was so fun. I had a blast at school. Our school was good too. St. Clair was always a good school with teachers and stuff. The teachers were always nice. And
there's always something going on too.
Yeah,
it was always interesting.
It was cool.
Man, yeah, St. Clair was pretty fucking wild, eh? That high school, man, shit was fucking crazy. And the funny thing too is, especially in St. Clair, when people get into fights, like it'd be the whole school getting into a fight. It wasn't, you know.
There's all the swarming and shit.
Yeah.
And like,
You know what I miss from school, man? To this day that I cherish so much that I wish, you know, like, you don't realize at the time, man, but going home from school, I had 4 mates, all right? We'd go home from school, turn on our PlayStation 4 and play zombies all afternoon, man. And that was some of the funnest on Kino de Toten, and you're doing laps around, man. That was so fun. I think about it all the time. Just playing zombies on your fucking PlayStation, man. I was having a blast. And I'll never do that again, probably.
No, but I'm pretty sure I failed year 9 or 10 because of Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
I think that was half our bloody year. Yeah.
We were literally staying up to 3, 4 a.m. on school nights playing zombies and just fucking around.
Fun,
that was literally my life. Go home, stay up all night, play Modern Warfare 2. Weekends, I wouldn't even leave the house. I'd wake up at 7 in the morning, go to bed at 2 a.m. Just playing that with the boys. It was fucked up.
Call of Duty's fun, man. It is a fun game.
Well, on the game topic now, anyway, Brad, that's basically what you do a lot now.
Yeah,
the whole gaming thing.
That's one thing I've never stopped. It's probably gotten worse and worse as I've gotten older.
You got Xbox or just
PC, man?
PC.
I've evolved.
Yeah.
So
I've evolved over the years.
So the whole friend group basically transformed from the consoles to PC. I was the last one, but I obviously used the PC more for the music. Because at one point it did start off everyone on the PlayStation 4, and then slowly, how did that even come about? Who was the first piece? Was it Diamond? Well, Diamond was the first one, wasn't it?
I think it was mainly like him, Chris, and that, because I remember we all started playing League of Legends, which you needed a computer, and most of us were just playing on like a crappy little laptop, and then I think it just progressed from there.
I mean, everyone knows PCs are better, but it's just like taking the step to actually get into it. Like
when I actually first bought mine just sat there, and I was still playing PlayStation for ages because I couldn't get used to shooting with a mouse and keyboard.
Well, you can use a controller though.
Yeah, but see, then you're just so far behind. It's just because I was so crap at it. I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to stick to PlayStation. Then eventually I just made the full transition, and it's 10 million times more rewarding.
So what, you always play with keyboard and mouse? You don't hook up the...
I hook it up for certain games, like driving games. It's impossible to play with. Well, you can, but it's just way too hard.
My mate Brad, right? He's really good at Rocket League, like crazy.
Yeah, you need a controller for that, for sure.
He was playing on the Switch, and he'd always school everybody with the Switch, which is like the worst console to play it on. But then he got a PC, and he bought a PlayStation 5 controller for it, and you can just hook it up.
Ah, okay. Yeah, see, a lot of people do that too. They buy the PCs because it just runs and performs better, but they still just whack in their controllers. Like, there's a lot of streamers that do that. Like I can't remember his name. It's a little chubby kid. He streams like crazy tournaments and shit like that. And this motherfucker was starting off the tournament with mouse and keyboard. Then halfway through, he'd change to his controller, kill a couple of people, and then at the final circle of Fortnite, he'd plug the keyboard back in.
Well, I mean, like, I feel like the main reason you get a PC, right, is for how it runs, isn't
100%.
it? Yeah. So like, I feel
graphics,
like
FPS,
if you're more comfortable with the controller, then isn't it better just hooking up a controller and being you get the best of both worlds?
You're limited with a controller. Like the way you hold it and you move, you can only move so fast, and you can't really change with it. On the computer, you can change the DPI of your mouse, so you can spin faster, you can react quicker. It's just everything about the mouse and keyboard just beats a controller for like FPS games.
You just got to get used to it.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I only have a Switch, so I've only had a Switch for ages. That's all I played, Smash Brothers. But
yeah, see, another big thing too, though, is that the whole argument between PC and console is the whole aim assist thing on the controllers.
Yeah,
like you see the dock all the time raging, and that's the thing too, because one of my favorite streamers now, Z-Laner, he always plays with dock, and he is a fucking beast, bro. And he plays on, I think he uses a PC but just plays with a controller, and he drops like 30, 40 kills every time, and Doc only himself still gets 10 kills a game. But this guy's fucking pumping it, and you can literally see the aim assist, because when you slow, a lot of people are now trying to say that he hacks, and like, I'm not going to defend him or anything in case he is doing, I don't think he's hacking, but when sometimes you slow down the kills, you can literally see the aim assist snap slowly to the target. And then what people do is they think that's a war hack or a...
Nah.
But it's like people will then try to say he's cheating, but you literally can... He's playing with a fucking control. Like you can literally see the aim assist, it will snap. And then there's even settings that he was saying on control that you can sort of choose the area it snaps to. And I'm not too sure how true that is, but he was saying like...
That's basically cheating.
Yeah, so it was like, it's snapping straight, but people were like, man, like you're cheating. And then, but even Doc's like, nah, it's the aim assist.
Bro, I'm so out of the loop with this. So aim assist is only if you're using a controller. It's not...
Yeah, because basically with the controller, if you didn't have aim assist, it'd be 10
Impossible.
times... Yeah, like to actually hit the target because
you're using a thumbstick.
Yeah. So that's why you actually need it. If you play with that off, like you're a nutcase.
And who's Dr. Disrespect? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
The guy with the mustache.
Yeah.
I've never. I see a lot about that guy pop up, but I've never really watched.
Oh, he's great.
He's a great entertainer, man. Like,
what do they play? COD or something?
Everything.
he plays all FPS, all shooters.
So I'm pretty sure he's won Streamer of the Year heaps of times.
I thought he quit or something.
No,
or he got
no.
banned.
He got banned
yeah.
from Twitch, and they still don't know why he got banned. It's still in the dark.
But he's back now.
Yeah, he's back on YouTube full time, and that's how we met this Z-Laner guy for YouTube. But the rumor goes with the ban. Now, this is just speculation and theory, right? I'm not fucking, you don't know what's true on the internet. But so a while back, Doc was at I don't know if it was the Streamer Awards or he was at TwitchCon or somewhere, and he had cheated on his wife, right? And that's why he had a break from streaming for a while, because he made a video. He said he felt like shit, so he had a break. But the rumor is it wasn't with just one woman. He was with 3 or 4 women at this event that he's cheated on his wife with.
One of them was a streamer, I'm pretty sure.
One of them was a streamer.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name, so I couldn't even say it if I wanted to. Can't remember the name. Apparently, one of the rumors was she, at the end of last year, Twitch did this massive deal with her to keep her shut, to keep her mouth shut, to stop the drama and stuff like that. So they obviously were paying her some type of wage or some type of like extra bonus. But apparently this last year, she had randomly come out and said, look, I'm not getting paid enough. If I don't get more, I'm going to say the shit that happened with the doc. And Twitch then freaked out and insta-banned Doc because they didn't want to give this girl any more. That's one of the rumors anyway.
Surely not, really. Because that doesn't solve her from just saying whatever it is, does it, though?
Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing. So I'm not too sure if it was they've freaked out and banned Doc, or she's gone, I want more, or you ban him type of thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that sounds like pretty
look, it's
speculative.
It's very speculation, like, you know what I mean?
So do you guys watch a lot of Twitch and shit? Because I don't.
I don't.
A little bit.
Who's the biggest Aussie on there? Who's like the most famous Aussie streamer? I watch a few big Aussies like on YouTube and shit, but
I'm not even sure. I know jack shit about Twitch streamers.
Yeah, because I don't really like. I've always preferred YouTube over Twitch.
Yeah, so do I. I watch a lot of YouTube, not much Twitch.
I only watch Twitch because of Doc. That was it. Because when I used to work at my last warehousing job, every single morning I would start my smoko at like 8:39, and that was around the time Doc would be in like an hour into the stream, and then I'd just watch him for the rest of the day. I just want to say a few things too. Thanks to everyone who listened to the podcast. The feedback was unreal.
Crazy.
It was
crazy. We didn't expect it to, you guys to tune in so quickly and enjoy it so much.
I got DM'd by that many people. It's not even
too.
funny, man. I can't put an account.
We truly appreciate all the support. I mean, we say it all the time, but it's because it's true, and we do this because we love it. But getting that, positive feedback and seeing that people are actually picking up what we're putting down, it just makes it all worth it. You know what I mean? And makes us want to keep going. It's a great feeling. It feels good knowing that you're doing something right.
So shout out Henry too. Apparently him and his mates have been pumping DZ in Friendly Fire, so that's fucking sick.
That's awesome.
Sick to hear, man.
Thank you guys.
Shout out to him. The countdown to the 100th episode cigar is still, I really want to smoke this right now, but
3 down, man. Hey, we're getting closer, man.
I'll just have my puff now.
Okay, so one thing, another story I want to bring up, Brad, is our stupidity when we were kids.
Not enough time.
There's not enough episodes on
This
this.
will take up fucking 100 episodes.
Jesus, man. Why? Just one quick thing I want to ask. Why? I can't even remember if we were drunk or not when we did this, but why did we take a bicycle onto Cameron Henderson's roof? And then please tell them what happened.
Oh, God. Look, man, all I remember, it was a weird Friday. I think it was like literally 4 p.m. and we're already all at Hendo's house. It was just me, Iggy, and Hendo there.
Were we drinking? Or we
we were drinking. We're having a few drinks. Started to get a bit blind, and then I remember Mikey came and he picked Iggy up, and they went to go get, I think, more beers or something. And so it was just me and Hendo, and I was roof tiling at the time. So like when I'm drunk, I was like, oh yeah, you know what, Hendo, let's go drink on the roof. He's like, yeah, you know what, that's a good idea. So we go and have a couple drinks on the roof. Everything's cool. And then Iggy comes back and I go, you know what? I got a great idea, boys. I'm going to ride this bike across the roof. And they go, nah. I'm like, nah, look, trust, bro. I got this. Like, yeah, all right, whatever, do it. So we carried his bike up there. I get on the bike. I ride it across like once, completely fine. I'm like, yeah, you know what? This is easy. I go back again. I'm like, yeah, sweet. Get off. I'm like, all right, one more time. Let's do it. Go across for the third time. And that's when the shit hits the fan. The handlebars were loose. So I start going, and I think I put a bit of weight on it, and the handlebars flipped. And I'm trying to get these up, get to the brake, and I didn't realize I'm starting to roll down the roof now. So I had a beer in my hand as well. So I'm rolling down, and then going to the veranda, and there was like a bit of timber up on the gutter. So the tires hit that. I've flown about 3 meters. It smashed through I think it was the asbestos. It was the one. It was the one clear bit of the metal veranda. I smashed through it. I land straight on the floor, which is about like a 4 meter drop. I hit the floor.
Fucking hell.
I look next to me. There's a brick barbecue, and on my other side is a lawnmower. I've completely slotted in perfectly in between both of them. And I get up, and all I can hear is Iggy laughing his head off. So I go to the back to see him, and they're rolling around the roof laughing. And I go to put my hands up and go, yeah, I did it. And then all of a sudden I just feel this click, and then my eyes instantly go black. Can't see a thing. I'm dead set. Feel like I'm going to pass out. I was in so much pain. These guys had to rush me to the hospital. I'm in the hospital. Oh man, like that was the worst pain I was ever in. It turns out I got my shoulder lodged, like dislocated it and lodged in my pec muscle.
Oh, fuck.
See,
For no reason. You didn't have to fucking ride the bike on the roof.
And then the next night I remember we went to McCann's house for a drink up, and I was riding the bike around one hand.
he had his arm in a sling, and I'll put a photo up if we can find it on the YouTube video of him in the sling the next day.
I've got the photo as a profile picture on my Facebook. I actually showed someone the other day.
There you go. So see, and that like, why would we do that? Why would we take up, like, right now? I would never take a fucking bicycle on the roof.
That's the most Australian story ever.
That was probably the dumbest shit I've ever done in my life, and I've done some dumb shit, but this was dumb.
When was it?
I was 17. It was a month before my 18th birthday, because I remember I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to go to the clubs and that because I was still in the sling.
That's right. That's right. See, that's just some of the like, why did we do that? Why did we do this?
What do you mean, why did we? Why did I do this?
Like,
God. I don't know, man.
But I mean, we're the type of mates too. Instead of stopping we were just all for it. Yeah.
All it took was me to ask twice, and you just went, "Yeah, right. Sounds like a good idea."
See, and I remember just watching you fly. I remember just watching you fly over the handlebars, and then you just disappeared, and then there was fucking asbestos, and you just got straight through it. So
I'm pretty sure the hole is still there to this day.
Yeah, at Endo's old house.
And I'm pretty sure if you want me to try and find that, I got a photo of the hole too. There's the bike, the hole in the roof, and my beer. I'm not sure if I've told my parents the true story, actually. I remember at the hospital, I told them that I fell downstairs. And the doctors were like, how did you do this much damage just falling down the stairs?
Oh, fuck, there you go. Now he's no, eh? He was on the bike at the roof, fell through a hole of asbestos, and broke his fucking arm.
I'm sure the doctors knew. They're like, this
Nah, they
guy.
I don't know.
Man. So what do you think? I mean, this question could be both of you. What do you think if we were to go on tour, right? The stupidity that would happen. Because I feel like even
from me, none.
Well, yeah,
from
for
you guys, fuck.
I feel like even though I'm older and a lot mature now, I feel like just the excitement. Say, for example, we were to go on tour, you got a bus full of all of tjmrecords, and we went on an Australian tour. We go to each state, do a couple of shows.
No, it would be fun.
I'm
sure.
telling you, I couldn't even think of the stupid shit I'd come up with. I'd be like jumping off buses, doing, in the moment. I'm not usually a guy that's down, like, that's good for the risk sort of stuff. I get to be scared. But as soon as I have a beer and some excitement, oh, man.
You sound like it. Fucking riding a bike on the roof. Jesus Christ.
We could do that. We could do that for the first tour. Ride a bike off the tour bus.
Stage dive with a bicycle.
Diesel, what do you think the odds of a tour happening at some point? I think it could happen.
Oh, at some point, 100%.
It's something I've been thinking about for a while too. Like, it wouldn't. I mean, I don't know. But
We're definitely going to do shows. A tour. Yeah, man.
Even if it's just tours around.
We already have fans in
a
Perth
state.
and Queensland. And
You get it for sure, man.
Well, even I'm pretty sure we talked about this in the first episode too, where you were saying, DZ, that Russ has a massive influence on these type of topics, and he was saying that touring, like, he hates it.
Oh, look, people, the main misconception with the industry is, right, that touring is how you make your money. Touring, don't stop touring. You got to tour. You got to tour. You got to tour, and that's because if you're under a record label, that's how you get your money, because the record label is taking all the money from your streams and everything. But if you're completely independent, like Russ is, he's getting all the money straight to him. You know what I mean? So he was saying now, like with COVID and stuff, like how all these rappers and stuff, that's why they're opening OnlyFans accounts and doing all this shit, because of COVID, they can't tour. But if you're sweet and you're set and you're your own, manager, marketer and everything, and you're getting all the money for yourself, well, your streams are enough, especially if you got the numbers like Russ does. If you got that big a fan base, your streams that's passive income forever. Your streams aren't going to stop. People who like your song, they're going to listen to it all the time. And that's just, we've made money from streams. I've got more money than I ever thought I would from music already. It's not a lot. It's like $30, $20, but
That's still good, man.
from streaming to make $20, $30 off just streams, I was impressed when I first looked at that. I just clicked on the bank section thinking, like,
And
just out of curiosity, and there was way more money than I thought there would be in there. So.
Yeah, it's funny you say that too, because it's not a lot of money, but I haven't checked.
Me neither. It's probably more now. That was ages ago.
I haven't checked the stream revenues in months, so there's probably a few more dollars in there. And by the way, too, YouTube owes me like fucking $30 too, so they fucking owe me, man. But
Watch him delete this video now.
yeah, YouTube owed me money, man. But now that's the thing too, that people have to be careful, especially with YouTube. So when I say they owe me money, it's obviously not a lot of money, but what had happened is when I first started the channel, YouTube changes its rules and shit like on the monthly. And when I first started YouTube years ago, it was you needed a certain amount of views to start getting ads on your videos. And I had cracked that within it was like three months of me doing YouTube, and I was just uploading tutorials trying to help, because basically I started making music, and then straight away people ask, how do you do this? How do you do this? Or can you show me how to do this? So I thought, fuck it, upload videos. And so what had happened was I was gaining a couple of dollars, and then YouTube changed it again. And now you need a certain amount of subscribers. And like, I've got the subscribers, and then they change it again. You need the subscribers and watch time. So I don't have the watch time yet, but I've still got money in the account that I can't take out because I don't have the watch time.
So, once you get the watch time.
So once I get the watch time, obviously I can...
Now, uploading podcasts, it should be 2 hour videws.
But it's like they're just changing their shit just to screw you over.
Yeah, just because of him.
Well, that's the thing too. Why do you, even with YouTube, why do you think... We covered this a little bit last time too, DZ, that why do you think people are so scared to, follow their dreams or pursue goals? Because you were saying that everyone remembers that one kid in school who would do the YouTube, he'd make the game videos and the game montages, and people would laugh. You'd always laugh at the kid doing YouTube, yet if that kid who did YouTube kept doing it up until this point, he'd probably be rich.
Because it's made out to be so far-fetched, and like celebrities are like some figures that you idolize. It's a 1 in a million shot. But in the era of the internet, man, you have the perseverance and the attitude to keep going and to keep, you know, fuck what other people think and to keep doing you. Eventually you're gonna get there. But people are so, it's like the whole schooling system and everything. Society's just built upon this idea that you have to fall in line. You have to be a bricklayer. You have to, you know, be an accountant, you know, stuff for normal people. If you're not born into fame, or you're not, you know, got the golden ticket, you're not gonna, you know, be able to do what you love. And people need to get that mindset. It's like a very old-fashioned way of thinking. But people still to this day, even though the internet's around, everyone's on TikTok, everyone's on Instagram, everyone's looking at content all the time, people are still embarrassed to put themselves out there. And, you know, they don't tell their friends or whatever that what they're into, like, at home by themselves, because they're scared they're going to get roasted for being into anime or being into this or that, comic books. And people really need to live your own life, man. Don't live for other people. You got to do you. And it's a shame, but, you know, then you get people like us who don't give a fuck, and then, you know, we just grab what you go after.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. So many people are so scared and like worried about what other people think. But if you really think of it, gaming is probably it's like $1 billion industry. It's probably the most popular thing on the internet.
Literally
huge.
Like YouTube. If you download YouTube for the first time on your app, or you open YouTube on your PC, I'm pretty sure no matter what, you just open YouTube and the first thing you're going to see will probably be a game video or some type of blog or vlog or some type of YouTube video. Like, they're like the top things that you could do. So you'd think that, you know,
more people do it.
more people would be doing it. And like you said, Deez, in the last episode, that the world is big enough for everyone to win.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But people don't do it. So, like, what drives someone to go to work for 10 hours at a job they hate, make someone else money, the company or their boss or whatever, and then not come home and work on themselves, work on their own business, work on, you know, making that game montage or whatever? Like,
because they're scared to get roasted. I still have friends and people I know closely who don't give 2 cents to what we're doing, because they think, you know, and they say, oh yeah, you know, they think like, you whatever, do you, but you're not gonna get anywhere. And I just can't wait for the day.
well,
I cannot wait for the day where I can look at these fucking people and then watch them all come back, send me messages saying, hey man, yeah, because it's gonna happen. So if you're one of these people,
yeah. Well, like I always say, man, you got to jump on board now or you will get left behind. Because, I mean, it's like, I feel like I got this fucking feeling in my gut, bro, that we are knocking on success's door, bro, and I can't wait. But not only just for success for us, just to be able to help other people, man. Like,
I can't. One of the things I want the most
to help the people.
Bro, Akon, right? Have you seen the shit Akon does?
what he's doing in Africa and shit.
Oh, man. It is incredible.
Doesn't he have like, he's the reason for nearly all of their electricity and shit?
Hasn't he made like
He's
an
building
Akon
a city.
coin?
Yeah, he's building a city in Senegal that is futuristic. It's gonna be. He's making deals with Chinese billionaires and the city's gonna run on Acoin, which is cryptocurrency. If you're not on cryptocurrency, get on cryptocurrency. Get. I bought some cryptocurrency.
So have I last week.
Yeah, man. Because listen, people think, oh, cryptocurrency is a still thing. It's never gonna. But think about technology and where society's headed, right? You really think money, cold hard cash, is gonna be around forever? The world's getting smaller with the internet. Everyone's getting interconnected. You really think we're gonna forever have these currencies that we have to exchange? No. Especially now with COVID. Once all this shit blows over, man, there's gonna be one currency everyone's going to use. We're all going to trade. It's going to be virtual currency. Yep. That's why I jumped on crypto, and I'm going to invest in some stocks soon. You need to get some shit online, because this cold hard cash thing, all that money stuffed in your mattress, is not going to be around forever, man. You need to get on cryptocurrency, because cash is on the way out. I'm fucking telling you. And you can all call me crazy or whatever, but when I'm chilling with my Litecoin that I can sell for fucking 60 grand... I'm going to be laughing my ass off.
See, what cryptocurrency did you buy?
So because there's so many, like a lot of people, it takes a minute. So I took the time to kind of read up a bit and learn because cryptocurrency is pretty complex. Yeah. How you have to, take it to an external wallet and all that shit. But I bought Litecoin, so I bit the bullet. I put a little bit of cash into getting I wanted one Litecoin because
how much was that for a Litecoin?
Like nearly $200. It's up now. Ooh, I'm up.
Yeah, you're up there. You're up.
Because one Bitcoin is like 55 grand for one Bitcoin, and you can buy. You don't have to buy one.
You can buy 0.000%.
So I got some Bitcoin. I got one Litecoin. I got some smaller. I got some Ren. I got some. What did you get?
Bro, I got into cryptocurrency like when Bitcoin was only at $5,000, right? It was about 4 or 5 years ago when that boom happened. I remember a mate at work told me to get into it, and in that week I watched Bitcoin jump up to 20 grand.
See,
and then I think what I buy, everything I bought back then ended up crashing into absolutely nothing, but I've been trying to jump on that Dogecoin.
Yeah, so am I, but it's hard to buy. You need, because not all the markets do Dogecoin because after that GameStop stuff, everyone's trying to rally together to shoot up the Dogecoin price.
So and I'm trying to Elon Musk was doing that. He put it in his Twitter, and instantly it jumped up like 40%.
And that's the thing too with stocks and crypto, right? They're different. Stocks and crypto are. A lot of people think they're similar, but they're different. So, like cryptocurrency, the way Akon explains it, which is really, I really bit the bullet after listening to Akon in an interview when he was talking about it. That it's like, so crypto's like it's like me buying a UK dollar with my Australian dollar, and they fluctuate. Everyone knows that, like a US dollar's worth more than an Aussie dollar. It's just like that. So I'm changing my currency for another form of currency. But stocks is a little different. That's where you own a little bit of a business, and depending on how the business performs. And the thing with that is people will see their crypto or their stock plummet, and they get scared and they take their money out. They take their money out. But you gotta ride the wave, man. It's gonna go back up. Everything goes back up. So we talked about stocks a little bit in the very first episode.
See, this is what I don't understand though. You can buy all this crypto stuff, right? And so you can then, instead of then reselling it for more money, which is what most people do, can you literally just keep it and then use that to buy stuff?
Yeah.
Certain sites, most sites take Bitcoin, anything now. And use it for absolutely anything.
And more places will be doing that, and it's mostly Bitcoin. Bitcoin's obviously the front runner for everything.
That was like the first big one.
But there is thousands of cryptocurrencies, and the technology behind it, a lot of people don't understand it. A lot of people who buy crypto and are heavy into it don't really understand the technology, because it's providing. It's not like gold or oil where there's like a tangible thing that has worth. They're creating worth through blockchains, they're called, and it's like complex math equations that they use for computers that mine and make value somehow. It's very strange stuff, but like, it's the future, and whether or not you accept it or you like it, a lot of people are old-fashioned. That's the way the world is going, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's scary. If there's websites that are accepting some forms of cryptocurrency, it only basically just means that at some point, even if we're not alive when it happens, surely at some point, the government or all these stores will come together and say, you know what, it'd probably be a lot easier and we'd all benefit more if we all just picked one currency.
That's what it will be, 100%.
That's what I was saying, because if you go to Coles or Woolworths, you see, what do you see at the self-checkout? Card only, and there's one cash
now.
And what some Starbucks are doing too now is you can put your money on a Starbucks card, right? And you can redeem coffees with that card. So you're putting your money into this card. It's like a bank. Starbucks is its own bank. You put your money in this card, and Starbucks has your money, and you just redeem it for coffee.
That's freaky.
Money's going, man. Money is going. It's on the way out. And people are so stuck in their ways, and they think the world's going to stay the same forever. They don't realize how quick technology evolves and technology changes. Elon Musk is building fucking tunnels under LA. Have you seen? They have these tunnels ready. He's already taken people through them. We're going to have 100 levels of tunnels, and people are going to shoot under LA at 200 Ks an hour to get from without traffic. And people think, oh no, cars are driving themselves. You seen these new fucking Teslas, man?
They do absolutely everything for you. You don't have to do jack shit.
And people think the world's gonna stay the same, and they go, oh, I talk about this shit all the time, and people look at me like I'm fucking crazy. Like, man, the world changes. Look at the 1920s. If you show someone from the 1920s a fucking iPhone, man, like, stuff changes quick, man. It's 2021, and we're on the cusp of this crazy technological revolution. It's like the industrial revolution happening all over again. We're gonna get pissed drunk at clubs. We're gonna hop in our cars, gonna drive us home. Like, man,
those will be the days, eh?
This shit happens quick. In 2 to 3 years, there's gonna be. I'm already going. I go down to a new shopping center opened up down the road from my house, right? And when I went there for the first time, I couldn't believe they had fucking charging stations for electric
your
cars.
Yeah.
They have low emissions parking spots. So if your car's low emission, you get a closer spot. Yeah. This stuff changes fucking quick, man.
Give it 10 years, man.
Less than that.
Yeah. Because think about how much we've changed in the last 20 years. Think about 20 years ago, right? All the shit we didn't have that we have now. In another 20 years, man, we're all going to have flying cars. Fucking
man, it's intense. Like, kids are going to they're going to wake up in the morning. Their mum's going to say, go to school. The kid's going to run out, put on these fucking goggles and go to virtual school. They're going to upload the school straight into their head.
Oh, man.
This shit happens quick. Like, we were talking about that VR stuff. You want to talk about that?
I reckon, bro, I'm 100% a believer of that. In, say, 30 years max, the whole world is going to be virtual.
Oh, yeah.
It's too. Like, have you seen that movie Ready Player One?
Ready Player One.
That's the direction.
The whole world's going to be so congested. It's going to be built high. Everyone's going to be in these crappy 1 by 1 meter apartments. The only way people are going to be able to escape is through virtual reality. And that's how the whole world is going to fucking operate.
The elites and everyone who benefits and who runs the world benefits from everyone staying inside.
Because then that goes to cryptocurrency again. Cryptocurrency would be the form of the virtual reality world. And then there you go.
We spoke about this in the first episode. They're already selling virtual plots of land in fake Earth. For Ready Player One. Wait.
I don't know anything about that.
That is something. Something that I would 100%.
Fuck.
I almost bought some fucking virtual land in fake Australia.
Like a square in Minecraft or some shit.
Ready Player One was directed by Steven Spielberg, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't seen the movie, but if anyone, they put this shit in movies and they tell you what's gonna happen, man. And if anyone's the fucking head honcho of the movie world, Steven Spielberg, he knows what the fuck's going on.
Yeah,
you know, he's in cahoots with the fucking.
He's an elitist dog.
The devil.
Yep, 100%.
Man, we're gonna be living in fucking stacked up cities. We're gonna put on these headsets. This stuff's happening, and I keep getting the ad on Facebook for this Earth 2. It's called Earth 2, right? I don't know how, I'm sure there's other versions of this, but they're definitely working on stuff like this. And it's, from what I read, I looked up a little bit, it's a 1-to-1 scale of Earth in a virtual realm. So there's the same amount of land as Earth, but it's fake in fucking headsets. So if you're going to invest in some stocks, we're not financial advisors, but VR, weed's going to be legal everywhere. So companies that like tobacconists and stuff that would naturally transition into weed, invest in those.
Ready Player One is by Steven Spielberg. And yeah, you were telling me this, I think, in the very first episode that didn't go to air, that there's a virtual... Well, that's what someone else actually told me once. Another guest that we'll have on this show very soon, me and him were talking on the way to indoor, and he was basically telling me, he said, man, if you really, because we're talking about the GameStop thing, and he said, if you really, really want to invest, he said, invest in anything that's got to do with virtual reality. And then that same day or the next day, we filmed the first episode of the podcast, and then you start telling me about the Earth Point 2 thing. And I was like, fuck. So you could buy a bit of land in this virtual Earth now when it's worth nothing, and then obviously at some point when everybody's playing this game or this virtual world, you then sell the land you own for a fucking triple the price.
Look, investments are a long-term game. So when you talk about this shit, especially with like VR things and stuff, people they don't have the foresight to understand what you're saying. So they think it's so far-fetched and unrealistic. But if you're going to invest in anything, you have to think about the long term. So, you know, that's the stuff you got to look for. And whether you like it or not, VR is the way of the future, man. I don't like it, you know.
I can't wait for it. It's going to be freaking awesome.
I mean, it's scary though. Like, it is scary, but it's the way it is, man. And like, you need to be willing to accept change, whether you like it or not, man. And a lot of people can't do that. But you gotta prepare, and you gotta think ahead. So
yeah, see, that's the funny thing too. I used to work with a guy when I was doing my painting job. He was real old school. Obviously, he's like a bit older, and he used to tell me all the time that he was still doing the whole payday comes. He goes straight to the ATM, takes out like $200, hides it in his little hiding spot, and that's like his little stash. But you think that at some point, like you said before, you're not gonna. That's gonna be like voided. That's gonna be
sooner than you think.
Useless.
COVID is gonna be used as a push to get rid of cash
inside. No more cash. Everything online, so then it can be tracked easier. It can be
everything traceable.
It's not even necessarily. Everyone thinks it's so sinister, and I don't think. Obviously, it's a very sinister world when it comes to this type of stuff. But it's just the natural progression of things. You know, eventually the world's getting smaller and smaller. It makes no sense to have all these different currencies we've got to change. You know, it's tedious and cumbersome. It's going to be so much easier. We have instant transactions. I can buy something in Spain and give it to someone in the US in an instant. We all pay with the same shit. That's just the natural progression.
See, it is good with that the way it's going, but it's also being pushed towards that by like you said, like a way more sinister sort of reason. There's a small group sitting at the top just pushing us all to that, so we can all be in one little thing to be traced, to be monitored and all that shit. And that's the only thing I don't like about it. Like, crypto at 100% is the way of the future, and it will be good, but it's also a lot more dark and dense than you could possibly think.
I mean, I used to, this shit used to keep me up at night when I was like 15, 14, that Illuminati stuff
would overthink it away, like,
make me shit my pants. But like,
don't get me started on the Illuminati, man.
You know, I think a lot of people are going to fucking roll their eyes, but like, spirituality, man, I feel my life has changed since I started being more spiritual, man. Since I started writing in my diary every morning the things I'm grateful for, what I have. You got to talk about what you want like you already have it, because what you put out is what you get back. The 12 laws of the universe is real, and it's like a guide on how to do this thing we call life. And since I started doing this, I've felt the best I've ever felt. You can choose to live in heaven or in hell. Life is a figment of your mind. What you put out is what you receive. So I choose to live my life happy, and whatever happens on the outside world, I'm going to get through it, and I'm going to put up with it. I'm here for a reason. I'm going to do my part, but I'm going to be happy about it. You know, I'm not going to spend my days being pissed off and sad and upset with this guy or that guy, because I'm choosing to live in my own personal heaven. You can put yourself in hell or in heaven, and it's how you think. And I've felt the best I've ever felt. Get yourself a diary every morning. Write what you're grateful for.
So is that what you do every morning?
Every fucking morning.
And it works.
Start my day. Yep, I've been doing it since March last year. I haven't missed a day. I put the date in the top right corner.
Yep.
And I write a page.
Yep. I don't have a diary, but I have a I don't have a diary, but I have a little notepad in my top drawer right next to where I make music. I've got my goals, and I write my weekly goals in this diary. And it's basically, I have to try, like, I try my best to, obviously some weeks, you know, you work long hours. As Brad, I work with Brad too. He knows some of the hours we can work, and sometimes you can't complete all the goals, but that feeling when you get to the Friday and you look at everything checked off, it's like the best fucking feeling ever. So it's be simple shit like, mow the lawn, spend time with the girlfriend, the dog, finish this song, record an episode of the podcast, edit half of it, finish the dubstep track I started last week, and it's just little things like that. But then you slowly go ticking them off, and it really, like Dylan said, ever since I started doing shit like that, it really has helped me not only to finish the goals, but I just feel a lot better about myself. Like, it's kind of like a calming feeling, eh? Like, you feel more calm with yourself, and like I said, it's so rewarding when the shit gets done. But going back to what DZ said about the sinister stuff, I mean, all you can really do is be a better person in a sinister world, eh?
That's what I was saying.
100%.
Like, you've got, like, because like I am a big believer of the whole. There's some crazy people out there. I don't know. People call them elites. I don't really think they're elites. They're kind of just like, I don't know, like weird pedophiles and shit.
Yeah,
But
They
weird
refer
shit.
to themselves as the elites.
yeah.
They're the ones that gave themselves that nickname. They're far fucking from it.
So sometimes you could just really, I mean, be a better person. Try to, you know,
Look, at the end of the day, there's nothing we can do about who runs the world. It's just the world we've been born into. We can't do anything about that. The only thing you can do is change your perspective, look at things with new eyes, look at things from new heights, and do your best to make a difference, man. Now we're building a platform, we're building a place where we can speak about this stuff and we can try helping others and change. I'm telling you, I'm not just talking out my ass. Get yourself a book, write as little or as much as you want. Every day, write things you are grateful for, because gratitude is the key to this life, man. You see these people in Africa or even Uruguay, South America. These are people are poor, they have nothing. But we went to Uruguay for 3 months, and they're happy spending time with their family. They're happier than most people in, you know, Australia and these first world countries where we have all these first world problems, man. Every day I'm still alive, I'm still breathing. I say it in my songs, I say it because it's true. I'm grateful to be alive, I'm grateful to be happy. I have clothes on my back, I have food, I have water. Gratitude will change your life, man. Seriously.
well, Brad, I think you know a bit about this whole like elite shit, eh?
Oh, mate.
Like you-
Yeah, I do. I know a little bit about it. It's, I
So you,
don't even know where to begin.
so they're. I mean, the bottom line is they're basically just they're the rich guys and they're just trying to stay rich.
It's literally just the rich families in America just trying to keep control and
Of the banks and shit like that.
Yeah, basically there's one bank that owns every bank in the world, and I forget the name of it, but basically the banks go to them for money. And what they're doing is they're starting wars in countries, America was, to actually take control of their banks.
Central bank, yeah.
So there was literally like Syria, all of them, North Korea, they're the only ones that they don't like own, and they're going there, going, oh yep, we're coming here for oil or whatever the hell you call it. Nah, they're going there to take control of the country, and then the war ends, and look what happens.
Cuba.
Yeah, they're all in control. Like it's just power tripping to keep the whole country at bay.
and it all stems back to money.
Yeah, they want to control
Literally
all the
money.
money.
It's just rich.
100%.
But this is money on like a billions.
Not even like numbers that we don't even know. Like that's how much it is.
You know, the thing about all this technology advancing and stuff, the old way things work, right? And it works for so long. These elites and people that run everything have to try, adapt and change too. So I saw like now with the rise of independent music, right? And Russ and people like that doing their own thing, controlling everything, DistroKid.
People don't
stuff.
like that.
Now these big record labels, Sony and stuff. I forgot what it was, but Sony recently they're purchasing like DistroKid type platforms. So, because that's the new way of music. People, it's the era of doing it.
From it.
Yeah, it's the era of doing everything yourself. So it's like that with the cryptocurrency. I'm pretty sure Ripple, all these big businesses, you can't buy Ripple right now, right? Do you have Ripple?
I do have Ripple, yes.
You do?
Yeah. I bought
Ripple
it
was
years
the
ago.
main one I wanted to get because I think Ripple is going to be the proper currency that everyone uses. I don't have any Ripple yet because they took it off. Like
Mine crashed hard, man.
But
Like I've got like 14 cents or something. It's just crashed.
Because it'll go back up. Because the thing about Ripple, it was in The Simpsons too. Everyone knows about The Simpsons. Ripple
The
was
Simpsons curse.
because the business. I can't remember the I'm not too well versed in this stuff, but I wanted to buy Ripple and I couldn't because they took it. Because the thing with Ripple is the transactions happen almost instantly, whereas Bitcoin takes a couple minutes, right, or something. So I think for quick like pay pass type shit, Ripple is going to be good. So that's why I think Ripple or something similar to Ripple is going to be the crypto that everyone uses.
Well, I
It's
hope
just-
that blows up.
I'd
But so
hold
what?
on to what you got.
Just like so it's basically just like Osco. So Osco Pay, most people would know is
What's that? I don't even know what that is.
so I don't
I've
know.
never heard of it.
So I don't know if it's just with Commonwealth, but I don't know if it's just with Commonwealth or all the banks. If you just use an Osco transaction instead of your normal bank transaction, it transfers instantly. And I know that this is for a fact because we had to use it in America. Because when we got to, it was the second time, it was me, Chloe, I think possibly Michael, and someone else. It would have been another female, maybe. I can't remember. No, wait, Chloe was the only female. So who the fuck was it? Was it Diamond?
I was there as well.
Yeah, but whoever was
What did we do?
So whoever was in my room.
Oh, wait.
In
your
Vegas,
room, it was Adzi.
So it was me, Mike, Adzi, Chloe. What had happened was we got to Vegas, but because obviously the time zones are reversed, we got to Vegas when it was obviously in the morning and it's dead at night here. So everyone in Australia is asleep. And we didn't have, we were like, it was like $100 short or something to pay for extra, not for the room, but just for an earlier check-in. Because you know how hotels charge you extra couple for early checkout or early check-in, whatever the bullshit is. So, and because no one here was awake, we had asked my in-laws to transfer the extra 100 and we'll just pay them back because in Australia, all the banks are closed as well. So we started freaking out going, fuck, how are they going to transfer us the money? Because we don't want to be sitting on the side of a Vegas fucking street for fucking waiting until 10 o'clock in the morning to check in. And then we're panicking. And then my mother-in-law finally wakes up at like 6 a.m. and just goes, God, like, just chill. I can just Osco pay it. And I was like, what the fuck's Osco? And we were all like, what's that? And she goes, oh, it just transfers straight away. And I was like, bullshit, really? Even though we're in America, the banks are closed. She's like, yeah. And we got the money instantly.
I didn't even know that.
Yep.
Osco.
It's called Osco. And I don't know how to do it. I don't know if you've got on your bank, you've got to type in like Osco payment because it's not a separate app or nothing like that. It's literally through your bank app.
Does every bank do it?
I'm pretty sure.
It sounds like it'd be
it's literally just called
thing.
It's just called Osco. And it goes, no matter where you are in the world, no matter what you're doing, the money will go instantly. And I did not know this until we were in Vegas waiting for money. So you're saying that the cryptocurrency Ripple is so popular because of that type of feature?
Look, I've only recently been researching all this crypto shit, so I think Brad probably knows a bit more than me. But from what I've heard, Ripple payments happen pretty and instantaneously, whereas Bitcoin and other things can take a few minutes. And speaking of banks, a little experiment, do at home. We're gonna get fucking assassinated talking about this. If you're
just quickly, if I go missing or if DZ just randomly,
we're not suicidal.
Just saying that.
If you're with Commonwealth, right, and you got the app on your phone, turn your phone upside down. Tell me what the Commonwealth symbol looks like. Do you know? Do you know what it is? No. It's a fucking pyramid. It's an upside down pyramid. The Commonwealth symbol is an upside down pyramid.
Don't tell me that because I'm with Commonwealth.
Yeah, so am I. Commonwealth.
They're supposed to be the best.
They're a good bank.
Banks are run by goblins, man.
Well, like I was saying before, all the banks literally are. And Australia is definitely it's like the puppeteer country of America.
But we're very lucky to be living in Australia. I'm so grateful to be Australian, and you all should be
that symbol there.
Turn it upside down. Look. See the shadow? It's a fucking pyramid, the top.
Oh, shit. Like it's a 3D pyramid.
Yeah, man.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
Holy shit, okay.
Yeah, man.
All right, I'm changing banks.
Yeah,
and we all know the pyramids were built by aliens.
Oh, God, don't get me started on the pyramids, man. That shit trips me the hell out.
Oh, man.
Didn't they say the pyramids that they're physically impossible to be built by humans?
Well, look,
they were not built by fucking humans.
There's no way that they could have been built by slaves, right? Because slaves are people that were forced into doing something they didn't want to do. So why would they do such a perfect job? Like, right, so if a block was laid 1 millimeter out of what it is now, the end would have ended up as a spiral. It was done too precise, too perfect to be done by any of that. It was 100% aliens.
And did you know this too, right, about the pyramids? I'm sure you might have heard about this, that the pyramids point true north.
Yep.
So the pyramids are perfectly in line with
the center of the earth or some shit, isn't it?
man.
Yeah, like their longitude and latitude, right, is like 0.0000.
And they're used as like to harness energy. Or something. Man. Yep. Aliens are fucking real, man. If you still don't believe in aliens, you are out your fucking mind.
Like, what's it called? Even the pyramids, right? You can look this shit up. They're made to be viewed from above. then they're not made to be viewed like that. They've got 8 sides. They're not just the 4 sides. You look at it from above, right? They're sort of indented like this, and it's side, 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 side. There's 8 bloody sides to be viewed from above. Like, come on,
Yeah, the
wake
humans
up.
did not fucking do that in however fucking many years.
Like, there's
ago.
in calligraphy, right? In the, like, you know, they paint on the walls and all that. Inside the pyramid, they found the double helix, which is the strand of DNA. And then there's a proper, like, star map of the galaxy inside that is
One of the
100% perfect and has the exact locations of everything. And this was built how many years ago? And they're saying it was done by slaves.
Apparently, there's pictures of helicopters and shit in there too, man.
Like, the pyramids were even there before the Egyptians were even around.
And in every culture, ancient culture, the Aztecs, the Egyptians, they all depict aliens or godlike beings teaching people how to do shit, like plant crops and things. So it's like these aliens created us and taught us how to make things work. You know what I mean? And I mean, we could sit here for fucking days talking about
Yeah,
what the meaning of life is. But like, I mean, if you, I can't believe people are so two-dimensional and stuck in their ways that all they do is work. They exist in Australia. Nothing is as it seems. Everything is as it seems. You know what I mean? Like, how can you not have... You know what I mean? Like,
See,
how can you not think, like,
Well, the way the
there's
world's
more to
been,
this?
well, the way the world's been for the last 20 years is trying to subdue people's minds from thinking like this.
Yeah,
Like, I'm telling you, like, that's why the thing of this generation, why things gonna get crazy, is because most people like us are woke and think of this shit like crazy. So I remember back in like year 8, we were watching videos on like listen to a Beyonce song backwards and
Yeah.
playing the keyboard. Like,
Yeah.
like kids these days now, they're smarter. Like,
I when I look at the future, right, even though we're talking about all this grim shit, I'm pretty optimistic. I see, and I never used to be, and I think it's definitely thanks to writing in my book and what I've been doing, just changing my perspective. But I think of the future, and I'm always optimistic. I think these days, the internet's big. I think people are getting a little more educated on things. People are evolving. And I think, you know, the future doesn't have to be grim, man. You know, I think there's potential for us to kind of, like, I look at people like Akon and shit like that. And I used to think when I was younger that everybody was evil. If you were famous at all, you were Illuminati. That's what I thought. I thought you couldn't be famous about, but I realize now it's probably not as widespread as most people think.
Well, people too. That's what it all comes back to, trying to keep people scared. And
Yeah, fear
Because
runs the
people-
world.
exactly right.
people always talk about the bad, but they never tell you about the good. So, like, I watched a David Attenborough documentary, and the whole documentary was all the grim shit that's happening to the planet. But then at the end, he then says, literally, that's what everyone wants you to hear. But he said, you don't know half the good shit that's happening too, that people are doing to try to revive the planet. So, example, there was this forest in, I think it's in some South American country, where the forest got logged for the trees and for the land so bad that that country, like back in the 80s, was 80% rainforest. And then all the logging and the companies, the mining companies and stuff, took it down to only about 15 or 20% of forest. And as soon as the government back in like 2016 finally said, all right, no more, you cannot take any more, and people just left it alone and started planting plants and trees. Now in 2020, well, this was in 2020, last year, that country had already now come back to 65% forest.
That's crazy, man.
But the people don't tell you that. You don't hear that on the news. You don't hear, you know, and same with the ocean. People, obviously everyone knows that our coral reefs and shit are disappearing and they're getting polluted and shit like that. But people also don't know that there's people out there who literally go out every day on boats and they just clean the ocean and they protect it, take out the rubbish. And there was some coral reef where David Attenborough was saying it was almost like all the corals had turned white because they were dying. And you don't want white corals. You want them to be pink and the purples and whatever. And he said this was on the verge of dying. But once again, the government of that country said no more fishing, overfishing. No one's allowed to fish there. You're not allowed to take your boats through there anymore. And same thing after a couple of years, last year in 2020, the coral was already back at like 98% capacity. Fish were back, the corals were back alive and stuff like that. And that all comes down to the people don't, like, it's not all grim.
There are people doing good things, man. There are people with influence doing good things. Like in
Africa too. I was reading the other day that so the deserts in Africa, right? They expand. They're going out and they make, you know, places uninhabitable. So the way they're combating that is all the countries in Africa have signed an agreement where they're building a big fence across the Sahara line, across the desert line, and they're planting trees. So they're building a wall of trees, and they've already planned in so.
What, in the desert?
Yeah, like to stop the desert from expanding. Because if they
right.
put a line of trees there, the desert, you know, it won't keep expanding out and making places a fucking desert where you can't live. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of stuff like that that people you just don't hear about, man. Because people stop watching the news too. If you watch the news, turn that shit off, man. Because the news lowers your vibration, man. It is rotting your brain. Do not watch the fucking news. Think about all the news you've seen and how much it's changed your life. Not that much, right? Your life, if you didn't watch the news ever, would your life really be that different? No, if there's something really important going on, you will hear about it. Don't watch the fucking news. Turn it off, man. Please.
Well,
turn it off. The world would be a better place if no one watched the fucking news. Well, promise you.
Apparently in China, they don't watch the news because they all know it's just propaganda and bullshit.
It is just all propaganda. So, they're all just telling you what they want you to hear, all the dumb shit, and keeping out all the stuff that obviously you should be knowing.
Yeah, exactly. So in China, they reckon that, like, obviously, once again, I don't know if this is true, but I feel like it could be true. No one watches the news.
Probably. I mean,
no one watches the news.
China's a strange place, man. I mean, it's not as bad. Like, I feel, well, I don't know, because I've never been there, so I don't really want to talk too much about it. But like, there's people are so sucked into their own world that they think there's nothing outside. Like, countries aren't, like, they think the world revolves around them. But these countries, what was the country? I was telling mum and stuff about this country I saw some videos on, and it is such a strange fucking country, and I can't remember. And I wish I did, but it's like this country where they've built all these, the capital city, they've built these crazy statues and huge buildings, but the streets are empty. It's all like solid gold and platinum, and there's no one in the streets because the guys who run the country, the guy who's running the country, right, he was like a dictator, and then he liked his dentist more than his own son, so he passed the torch on to his dentist, and now his dentist is running the country. Serious,
what
this is real.
hell?
Oh, what was the fucking name of the?
Oh man,
I can't remember for the life of me, but I'm sure someone will recognize what I'm talking about because it's interesting, man. It's crazy, and they have these crazy buildings, huge buildings like sculptures and like big globe, like the education building shaped like an open book. It looks like an open book. It's a big building, and the streets are fucking empty. There's no one in the streets. It's like a country, and it's next to like Kazakhstan or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say it'd be like Uzbekistan or something like that.
I feel sorry for that guy as a kid.
Remember.
Bloody hell, the world's a strange place, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's a strange place, but it doesn't mean that you can't. You know, like you said, DZ, man, it's big enough for everyone to win and to prosper and to profit. You
Positivity.
know what I mean?
It's your mind.
Like, it's big enough for everyone to be successful, but people just let themselves become so boxed into their day-to-day 9-to-5 routine. And I feel sorry for those type of people, man. They're the people I feel sorry for the most, man. The ones that... What were we talking about?
I don't remember.
Well, that's something interesting that we could talk about too. Is Brad, you were saying on Joe Rogan's podcast, there was a guy on there and he was talking about the benefits of micro-dosing shrooms.
I forget his name. So he's a literal like proper like doctor in like professor or whatever in fungi. And the actual benefits of micro-dosing, well, nearly any drug, but mainly he was talking about mushrooms, is it's so good for your soul, for your mind, for everything. It gets rid of the anxiety. It just gets rid of absolutely everything, and it's just weird.
It's weird too because I've been reading articles where in a lot of states in America they're now legalizing shrooms too. So on top of the weed, you can now do shrooms legally.
Yeah,
well, that's like Amsterdam, right? Like, well,
yeah,
it's decriminalized.
I actually saw I think it was last week that they're also doing MDMA. It's going to be legalized for, like, you know how pot is for what is it, like medical use? They're going to do the same with MDMA.
Apparently, like, I don't know about MDMA. MDMA seems a bit
that's a bit too skeptical. It's not natural.
But ketamine, they use ketamine to cure depression. You know.
They do ketamine treatments.
The ketamine started off as a fucking horse trank, didn't it?
Yeah, it is a horse
knocking out
trank.
horses.
Well, that's when I did my riding the bike off the roof. That's the only drug
that's right. They
that
gave you
worked.
ketamine.
That's the only drug that worked to get me out of pain, so they could get my shoulder out.
It was the ketamine.
Wow.
That's how hardcore it is.
Fuck, so
Dropped me.
I'm pretty sure you sent me videos of you in the hospital too on the ketamine as well.
Man, because all I remember with that is I was screaming in pain, and then they said, "Look, we're gonna have to do it." My mum was skeptical; she didn't want him to do it, but they did it. And I remember him counting down after he jabbed me, and he said, "How you feeling?" And I instantly just went, "Yeah, you know what? I'm feeling good."
Better.
Not too bad.
I never passed out. Like, I didn't pass out. I just was sitting there with my eyes open, apparently. This is what my mum said, but I don't remember a thing. Then all of a sudden I come back to it. I'm in a sling. There's no doctors around. Just my aunties there.
You time traveled.
And then I remember everything was fine. Then I looked up at the clock, and then it just went like a... 20 clocks appeared on the wall. Time just spinning everywhere. And my head's just spinning, and I'm just going, what the hell? It's like I'm stuck in a time paradox or something. It was bloody ridiculous. That lasted for like 10 minutes.
Dude, that's crazy too. You DZ, you mentioned the time traveling. Just something I thought of. I was watching one of Mike Tyson's podcasts, and have you guys seen? So one of his championship fights, right? It was back in the 80s or whenever it was. So obviously back then there's no camera phones, but in the crowd ringside there's a fucking guy filming the event, like taking pictures on his phone.
I've seen that, but what?
And Mike Tyson was literally tripping out over it, going, "What? How is that even possible?"
Apparently, it's like I actually came across this not that long ago, and apparently there are some similar like old devices that people claim it is, but look, I don't know about time travel like that, where guys literally come back and like have a fucking
to watch Mike Tyson.
Yeah,
fight.
like bruh, you know what I mean? But I don't know.
There's some weirder ones, like I guess the Mike Tyson one's a bit skeptical, but there's also ones even back to the JFK, like when he died. There's a guy pictured who's wearing modernized
Sunglasses
clothes, like
and shirt.
yeah,
I've seen
like
that
what
too.
what we'd wear now, and that was not even made or even a thing back then. And apparently, I'm pretty sure the same person's been photographed in different like places throughout the time, and it's just like that's where I think time travel gets weird. Not going back to a Mike Tyson fight to film a knockout or something.
This reminds me of do you know about Mandela effects?
Oh,
yeah.
bro. I had
fuck,
to
man.
see. Now that kept me up at night for a while.
That is strange,
shit, bro.
that bruh.
shit, man.
The fucking Monopoly guy having a fucking monocle. I swear, he used to have a fucking monocle.
He did have a monocle.
He did have a monocle,
Yeah,
didn't he? He fucking
Yeah.
had a monocle.
100%. He had a monocle.
He doesn't now.
And now he doesn't. Yeah.
And Looney Tunes with the double O's, and now it's spelt tunes, like Tunes.
Wait,
It doesn't
is
even
it?
make sense.
No, it was TOON.
It was Looney
It
Tunes
was,
with,
eh?
with double O, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, what? That makes more sense to me. Why would it be called fucking Looney Tunes? I don't know, man. But that shit, there's something to that, I feel.
And that all started simply because people were just getting confused and think. And so the story.
Nelson Mandela died in prison in 2013, but they thought he died earlier.
No, he died in prison, but people thought he got out of prison and then died of old age. Isn't that how it goes?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Something
I think so,
like that.
or vice versa. He
So it was-
he didn't die in prison. He got out and died of old age in 2013, but people thought he died.
That
in
he
prison.
had died in
Yeah,
prison.
yeah.
That's right.
I don't know. That's before my time, so I don't know. I don't have memories of fucking Nelson.
But then in saying that too, humans, we're pretty fucking stupid. So that could just be a confusion between a group of people, and then people then just turn it into this massive thing.
It starts with one person goes through one ear, and then they add one wacky sort of thing,
Yeah.
and it ends up in this crazy.
Or Star
Shit.
Wars. No, I am your father, and I mean that one's pretty weird. Like, why does everyone say
No.
Luke, I am your father? If he
Wait,
never
so it
fucking
isn't?
said that.
It isn't that?
He says no, I am your father. He doesn't say Luke.
Oh shit!
Yeah, he says, yeah.
He doesn't say
Yeah.
Luke at all. But why does everyone say Luke?
I
I am your father.
thought this whole time that's what he said.
No.
He doesn't. He doesn't say that. It's weird.
Fucking hell.
Or just like the whole Han shot first thing. Originally, Han did shoot first, but then
I think they changed it.
yeah, George Lucas freaked out because he didn't want people to think Han was like just like a stone cold killer. So he re-edited it that Greedo shoots him first, but realistically, Han Solo was a crazy smuggler who was a prick. So everyone thought it was kind of cool that he shot first. And then, you know what I mean? But that was just a fucking...
See, but that's the thing, because some Mandela effects have explanations like that. So some of them,
Yeah,
but
so
when it
some of
gets
them are
weird,
just-
when it gets weird is when you try Google image the fucking Monopoly man with a monocle, and no one fucking
you
has a
can't
recollection of this guy wearing a fucking monocle.
It's just all been deleted.
Man,
Let me have a look.
there was another one too that this is ages ago. I was Googling and I couldn't. The Philosopher's Stone, the Sorcerer's Stone, Harry Potter and the fucking Philosopher's Stone. They changed the name,
No,
right?
they changed the name,
Okay,
right? Literally
yeah.
just for the fact that Americans couldn't say the word. It was something so dumb that, it was something like that they had to change it, because I think it was only changed in one country at first, and then it ended up just, it was too hard to say.
But it was Philosopher's Stone.
It
That's
is,
not-
100%.
That's him with a monocle,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, that's the original
That's the
from like the
original guy.
bloody whenever they come out.
But apparently that never
And now
existed.
they got the exact same picture, but without
It's
the
the
monocle. So, like, there's got
That's
to be
a-
someone out there fucking around.
I don't know,
and
maybe someone's having a laugh.
Google,
Piss
yeah,
take
and
and they're
edit-
fucking
edit-
Just
editing.
like, here,
Well-
let's make the whole world think they're crazy.
Yeah.
the Berenstain Bears and the Berenstain Bear. Have you seen that? That those kids' books about the
Yeah.
bears, the Berenstain Bears. Apparently, used to be Berenstain, like Stein,
Mm.
but now it's Stain, Berenstain Bears, Stain.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That shit fucking. That's just fucking.
There's
wacky.
loads of those, man.
Well, okay. Well, here's another big one too. Like the current situation we're in, the whole COVID thing. Like I think it's all bullshit. Like I don't think. Like I think it's real, but
That's BS.
not to the point of having to lock down countries.
let me. People act with this COVID thing too. People act like this hasn't happened before. This is just the first pandemic where the technology is so widespread and everyone's in communication all the time. But pandemics happen all the time, man. We had even in
Swine flu,
2001,
Spanish
2009. This shit happens all the time. But because the internet's so big and everyone's watching the fucking news, turn off the news. Everyone's fucking panicking and freaking out because they're texting their
It's-
grandma down the coast. Fucking man. One person, this guy in fucking Melbourne wanted to extend the lockdown till fucking December because they had one case. Like, people are fucking in shambles, man.
It's
And
ridiculous, man.
Stop watching the fucking news.
Well, which is crazy too, because if you think of it, back in the 1800s or whatever, the swine flu was like a 80% death rate.
They ended up coming back in the 2000s, didn't it?
It's still
No,
around.
not the swine flu. There was like
I'm pretty sure it was the
like
swine flu.
Bird
Very- it
flu.
was
We've
a
had
bird
bird
flu,
flu.
yeah.
Fucking
because the swine flu was
Toad flu.
The swine flu. It was either the swine flu or the Spanish flu killed at the time a quarter of the Earth's population.
Bro, honestly, it's
That's
not
how bad it
it's
was.
I mean, really, realistically, I mean, you can easily protect yourself against a fucking pandemic. I mean, imagine if everyone just wore hazmat suits. How are you gonna catch shit if you're fucking complete? You know what I mean? Like,
You can't have half the
There
world
are
walking
worse
around in a
things,
fucking hazmat
like-
suit.
so I mean, you just gotta have some vigilance and be smart and not be an idiot, and you can get through this type of shit. But people are dumb. You got to work together, not be against each other. Everyone's fighting all the time. But if we were all smart, had some, wits about us, we'd work together and we'd get through this shit. But people want to panic and freak out and panic buy and punch on in fucking Coles. And,
Take all the toilet paper.
yeah, man, fucking hell. These people
That's
are
the
so
dumbest
stupid.
shit I've
Turn
ever
off the
seen.
fucking news. I can't stress that enough. Please stop watching the news. Seriously, it's rotting your fucking brain.
Have you heard of InfoWars?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Watch that shit.
Yeah.
That's the only shit I'd
The real
recommend to
news,
watch.
isn't it? The real
Yeah, it
news.
is the real news, because
It
Alex
is.
Jones, right, is most people would know him and most people would think he's batshit crazy because that's how the media portrays him. He knows heaps, man. And his goal is just to get the proper information out to the people so the people have knowledge.
Fuck yeah.
If you want to watch some actual news and know what the hell's going on, go to InfoWars. 100%.
But the thing is, anyone who's telling you anything, just take it with a grain of salt. People put too much faith in everybody. You got to think the people you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis are humans just like you, and they're prone to make mistakes and be wrong. So the only person you can really trust to get information about anything is what you see with your own fucking eyes. So have some vigilance. Take what people say to you with a grain of salt, and just keep your wits about you. You know what I mean? Don't fucking just put all your faith into what one person tells you.
Yep. I feel like people are very people act silly and they don't like you said, people just freak out, think the worst straight away, think the most negative thing straight away. especially during like this so-called pandemic, like there was literally people punching on in the shops, like over toilet paper.
People get scared.
Literally, people stampeding.
Which is lucky too, because if this was, say, example, if you lived in the United States, like people, all it takes is one guy to freak out and start shooting, goes down to the shops, thinks it's the end of the world, starts shooting up the shop just to get supplies. Like, we're very lucky it doesn't get to that point.
Surprised that actually didn't happen.
It might have.
Yeah, we just didn't hear about it.
You know, America's so crazy, right? If we have like a pretty bad murder or something, right? It's nationwide
yeah.
news. America, man, from state to state,
That's their local news.
they don't hear about shit from state to state because it happens so often.
Like, shootings aren't even reported over there, really, because there's just like hundreds of them a day. Like, over here, you hear a shooting and you're like, wow, that's some big bloody news. Over there, man, they hear a gunshot and they don't even flinch anymore.
I think the statistic is like, I could be wrong.
Every 9 minutes, isn't
I think it's like you have a 1 in 100 chance of being killed by homicide in America or some shit.
And that is some low chance. I remember when we were actually there, it's quite scary, some of the places you're in.
Fuck me.
The feeling like I've gone through some dodgy places here, you know, like, and dodgy where you get jumped, stabbed, whatever, but over there,
that was scary.
I was actually terrified out of my life.
I remember we, speaking on that, man, we landed in the state is called Disneyland. What is it? Orlando?
Orlando, Florida.
It's got Disney World.
For some fucked up reason, we had booked the street with the highest crime rate in the state.
and it was in the top 10 of the country.
Don't ask me why or who did it. It was probably Michael Attard, to be honest, but I don't know what the fuck happened there. And we land and it's like, what, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., right? So you're hungry. We've been traveling for hours. We're fucking hungry. So we're like, yeah, fuck it. We'll go get McDonald's. And we decided to walk.
Oh my God. Was that the worst decision of our lives?
And so the first red flag you would have thought would have been we're driving to our Airbnb and there's a fucking prostitute standing on the corner. Right? That was the first red flag.
I'm pretty sure this was a big-ass male dressed as a female.
Yeah,
it was huge.
Yeah. And there was a car parked down the road, so which is probably the pimp. But anyway, so you'd think that's the first red flag. But we walked to go get McDonald's, and as we're walking up the main road, people are beeping and shit like that, and every single bus stop, there was a crackhead at each bus stop. And it was kind of like a video game, and each crackhead was getting worse and worse and worse. And I'm talking crackheads, where one of them was covered in sweat. He was pacing up and down around the bus
down,
stop.
Get up, scratch himself, run around the bus stop, sit back down. And
it was fucking so scary, man. And we somehow survived. We get to McDonald's, and we get to the McDonald's, and there's like, what, 3 or 4 homeless dudes just hanging out at the McDonald's and not even eating food. They're just sitting in it. They smell. They look weird. It was fucking so scary.
They look weird.
And it was only a 7-minute walk or something like that.
It was literally a couple. It was like a left, a right, 100 meters, and then we're there.
And we were that scared that after we got to Macca's, we ordered Ubers to take us back to our Airbnb. And one of the boys was saying that his Uber driver had a gun in the glove box because he's scared of driving through that area.
Well, every Uber driver we had, right, because we got an Uber to go everywhere. I remember I got into one and it was this lady, and we got in. She's like, "Oh my God, thank God it's you guys." I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "What are you doing in these parts? Like, you should not be here." And we're like, "Oh, we didn't know." She's like, "This is a terrible place." And like, she had a gun literally like to her side, like they're ready because they got the shoot your ground law there.
America is a fucked up.
That's what I mean.
place.
And this was every Uber driver when they heard our accent, they went, "Oh my God, what are you are idiots."
And which is so funny too, because one of the nights we were there, I had ordered, I can't remember who it was. Someone had ordered Uber Eats, and I remember the lady was telling us she was hesitant to drop off the food because of the street. And when I was watching her go back to her car after she dropped the food off, she literally ran to her car from the door. She ran to the car and got in the car and got the fuck out of there.
And this place is like 1K from Disney World.
Yeah.
Disney World, the happiest place on earth.
I have no interest in going back there.
It's a very
we went to Disney World with our family when I was young.
We were little. It was a
and
very
I
backwards
never
one.
want to go back to that country again.
Yeah.
I went to Disney World. I had fun. I saw what I needed to see. That country has nothing
That
else
is it.
for me.
No more. It's a very backwards
Actually,
place.
the only thing that's left for you is Vegas. I'm telling you, man. You
I
got to go back.
I don't
there.
even know fucking about that.
That's the only place I'll go back to. That is
Yeah, I think
amazing.
Vegas is awesome. Man, speaking of Vegas, man, how much do you remember off the top of your head, Brad, how much money you spent on gambling? It's a lot,
Oh
hey?
god, this brings a tear to my. I'm pretty sure. All right, so
He's got a single teardrop in there.
I remember. Look, the first time I went, because we've gone twice now. The first time was a bit better. There was a bit more winning, but I still think I spent in the few days we were there $6 to $7 grand on just the gambling alone. But that was with winning a few thousand as well. That was living like a king. But then the second time, I don't think I won once. I remember this memory at most. It was roulette, and it was like red 4 times, and I was like, all right, it's got to be black, $100. It was red again. I was like, all right, it's got to be again. It was red 14 times in a row. I lost $1,500. Just that was in 10 minutes.
Man, speaking of the roulette, Brad,
In 10 minutes.
I'll tell you guys a crazy story, man. So we're out to dinner. We're at, was it Japanese or Korean? Somewhere Asian.
The Japanese, when we got the ramen and that.
Yeah. So, and I remember we got pretty drunk on the sake or whatever. And then, so I look at my girlfriend and I say, right, on the count of 3, pick a number between 0 and 33 or whatever the numbers on the roulette table. All right. 1, 2, 3. We both literally say 17. And we've just gone, fuck. Okay, let's do it. I'm going to go put $200 American on 17. And $200 converts to like what? Fucking $400, almost $400 Aussie. So we finish up, whatever, go across to the Caesar's Palace, and I run straight to the roulette table. Where I fucked up is I go to the toilet first quickly, go to the table, and I put the money on the table. And the guy running the roulette table, so what happens is in Vegas, they take your ID and someone has to take it to scan it to make sure you're of age. And what a lot of the roulette table, guys that are running it, what they do is like a form of courtesy is most of them will wait for your ID to get returned before he starts the round. It's just what most of them did. Not this fella. Doesn't wait. Spins the ball while I'm still waiting for my ID, so technically he doesn't let me put my chips down because the ID hasn't been confirmed. And what do you know? The number fucking 17 come up. I would have won about...
It was 7. It would have been $7 grand US.
$7 grand
which would be
US.
Like over 10 grand.
Would have been over 10 grand Australian. And I literally then cried. And I remember I just run back to the room with Michael, and me and him were just up there.
There's
just
a video.
hugging and crying, and I had the song on, now there you go again. And I was just up there crying, going, it is absolute bullshit.
That was a rough night. Because the worst part is he actually waited like a little bit, and then he looked, and then he just went, fuck it.
He just spun.
It's like he knew what his mind was thinking to go on, and he was like, watch this, guys. I'm gonna ruin this guy's trip.
And the fucked up thing is I remember when he spun it and I hadn't got my ID back, I looked at my girlfriend and said, it's going to be number 17. And she was like, nah, it won't. And I'm like, nah, trust me, because I'm not getting my ID back, it's going to be 17. And it literally come up. But in saying that too, I'm kind of glad I didn't win the money, because let's be honest, I probably would have blew it all that night.
Yeah, you would have lost
I'm telling you, bro, we would have
gone crazy.
I would have convinced you to put it all in black or something.
So I mean, fuck. I mean, I guess it kind of worked out for the better.
Everything happens for a reason.
But it is a very backwards place, man. I'm not trying to bag it, because I know there's a couple of like American
most
fans.
Americans I've spoken to who follow us or know us, they agree.
yeah. Like they're a good bunch of dudes, man. But some, like, especially when we went to Miami, very big Spanish Latino influence from Mexico there, and we were going to the store to get stuff, just your typical groceries, and there'd be nothing in the shop. Like the shelves were empty, and I would ask all the workers, like, "Where's the stock?" And they go, "Oh, we've got none till like next month." and there was people in there with their kids doing their fucking Sunday shopping. And there's nothing on there's like tins of beans.
It's crazy how they live over
We're
there,
very
man.
grateful to be here, man, and people take that for
Granted, but
Yeah, and the funny thing too is I remember one of the mornings in Mexico, we had gotten up bright and early. I don't even know if we had slept from the night before, I can't remember, but we were up for some reason bright and early, waiting for the liquor store to open. And we've gone down there, and there was already a line of homeless people trying to get in, banging on the door. And then we didn't even realize we've walked up and we were with the homeless dudes banging on the door with them, trying to get into the liquor shop. Like, it's a very backwards place, man. And
It doesn't feel like a first world country when you're over there.
well, that's the thing, because I feel like in America, there's
It's like not.
there's like no middle. Well, there is, but it feels like we didn't see any middle class.
Well, it's
Either
like-
we saw poor, and then you see the rich areas, and then you've just got Airbnbs where people holiday.
Yeah, but then again, you guys weren't really in like
We weren't
too
in the
much
residential.
suburbia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're not in the suburbs, like where people just live their
We're in the
lives, go to
cities
school.
where that's where all the homeless and all the junkies are. Like, what about in LA, right? Like, even Hollywood Boulevard and all that. Hollywood, that's the biggest piece of shit, like, dirtiest place I've ever been to in my life.
Everyone says that. Mum said that too.
For every star you have on the Walk of Fame, there is 2 homeless people.
yeah,
And it just takes away the, like, how good it could be. Like, it's just...
It just goes to show how much problems that country has.
I remember we got there, right? After like a couple hours walking home, we said, we still got to be in this state for 4 more fucking days.
oh, bro,
Fuck.
bro. And man, even back in Miami, I remember we were driving, and I was talking in Spanish to one of the Uber drivers, and she was saying, and she's like, "Oh, do you want to see something funny?" And I'm like, "Yeah, right." She takes us through. I don't know who was in the Uber with me. My girlfriend would have been one of them. She drives us under a bridge, and I shit you not, the homeless people had a community, and I'm talking, they had chickens, dogs, and there was a motherfucker, I'm pretty sure he had a cow on a lead, and he was just walking it under this bridge, and they had tents everywhere, and I was like, man, what the fuck? And then she said, yeah, they literally like have a name for their community. Like, I don't know what the name was, but there was a whole... and they were just waving at the cars or driving past and shit. And I'm going, man, what the fuck? And then you get out from under the bridge and it's just back to normal. Like, it's just like normal houses and shit like that.
It's fucking unreal, eh?
What a strange place.
It's a country, it feels like the government don't want to help their people.
Well,
Well, they don't.
It's a big country with a lot of people. I mean, the
They,
population.
they literally
it's hard.
don't, man.
It's hard to solve those issues, man. There's like 300 million fucking people in that place.
How many people do we have in Oz?
25 million.
Fuck. Okay, yes.
And our country's just about the same size as the fucking US in landmass.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Oh,
we got
but
it
they-
good.
yeah,
We got
we're-
it good here. Obviously, the middle's not very habitable, but like we have big land to population. We're very lucky. Australia's probably one of the best countries in the world. You know,
It would be, man.
Yeah, it is.
I feel like New
Probably
Zealand's
the
a little
best.
better. I'd rather be in New Zealand, I think, but
Really?
yeah, man. Less
Why there?
people. Less people. There's
Oh,
only
it's
4
a bit
million in New
smaller,
Zealand.
yeah.
It's just, you know, it's
Nicer
like the
looking.
yeah, smaller Australia. Like, and the thing I like about Australia too, you look at, we're so like inundated with American media and stuff, and Australia's never mentioned. They don't even know we exist, man, and that's good. That is good.
100%.
We're all the way on the opposite side of the world. All the chaos, the UK, the US, all those countries under Northern Hemisphere, and we're just here in the South by ourselves, our own little country. We got everything all right, you know. People don't care about us. They don't want to invade us. They don't want to attack us. The only thing we got to worry about is China. We're a bit closer to China. They get a little crazy. But, you know, for the most part, we got it pretty good, man. And I'm moving to Japan. As soon as I get my life sorted and everything, I'm going to Japan. I'm living there. But I think Australia is a fucking pretty good place.
I know, I've been to a few places. I couldn't live anywhere else.
Yeah, I've done a lot of Europe, man. I've done
Yeah.
a lot of places, and it's just you don't really appreciate your own country till you're over in the other ones.
Yeah.
This is probably one of the best countries to live in
Oh, for sure.
in the world, man.
It's ranked as like one of the best. Sydney's ranked always as one of the prettiest cities in the world. That was my text tone, by
I was
the
going
way.
to say, I was like, what the hell was
Sonic
that?
So, holy shit.
Here's my
Did
text
someone
message.
click the soundboard or something?
But yeah, man, Australia, we're very lucky here.
All right, guys, and that was episode, 3?
3.
Yeah, episode 3. That's
90,
right. Oh, I've got
97 to go.
97.
97 to go to
Chuff
the
that
cigar,
cigar.
boys. A few things I got DM'd about too is people have been asking me where they can hear the first episode. Like we said in the episode 2, the first episode is actually not aired anywhere because it was a fail, but it still happened. So
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
why
I went live on Instagram for a little bit.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
yeah.
like, it's not like we're not going to pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah, so that's why we still count it as the first episode. It's just not uploaded because of technical issues. So we just continued from episode 2. So this is episode 3. Thank you guys once again for the support. Was absolutely unreal.
Crazy, man.
Absolutely unreal. So yeah, thanks for listening. With TJM Records member and longtime friend Bradley Attard.
Thanks
Thanks
for
for
coming.
having me, guys. Thanks for having me.
Anytime, my friend. And this will be the biggest podcast in the country. Thank you for listening.
Until next time.
Later.